The death of a young mother and her child is shining the spotlight on domestic violence. Investigators believe Dontavis Lloyd shot and killed Destacia and Kenesha Strawn inside their home. Omaha Police had been called to the home earlier in the day before the killings. That prompted an internal investigation by the department. Police Chief Todd Schmaderer released a statement saying the officer acted in good faith and could not have predicted the outcome. But the internal investigation did find a policy violation. Good evening. I'm Jennifer Griswold. The officers involved will receive internal discipline and training. But as reporter Shante Passmore found out, the newest recruits are already trained to deal with domestic violence. Shante?
Jenny, the woman who trained the recruits say the additional training applies when officers are unable to make an arrest during a visit. 911 calls for domestic disputes are not easy for officers. The murders of Destacia Strawn and her little girl, Kenesha, recently put the spotlight on this issue. Hours before the killings, officers had paid a visit to Strawn's home and had contact with the murder suspect, Dontavis Lloyd.
Too often it does look like just two people fighting over a television remote once the officer arrives.
Tara Muir, Executive Director of Domestic Violence Council, says the calls are even harder for officers when there doesn't appear to be any physical evidence supporting a victim's claim. In the past, they had limited options.
Law enforcement was just sending a lot of victims down to the protection order office during business hours the next morning if they couldn't make an arrest.
But now, Muir says the department's newest recruits are taught to go a step further when there is no probable cause for an arrest.
Especially if you, as an officer, have to walk away that night and not make an arrest, that you do your best to connect them to the hotline worker.
The hotline number is for the Women's Center for Advancement.
We can't ask law enforcement to be social workers, and we don't want them to be. They're there to really serve and protect. But they can do a good handoff to a hotline worker to say, help her process, let's get her somewhere safe.
The woman I spoke to says she hopes to extend this training to the entire Omaha Police Department. We were unable to get a comment from OPD regarding this additional training. Reporting live from the News Center, Shante Passmore, KMTV Action 3 News.